So who's white in your view then? Who's white enough? Because you guys are always quibbling about that, right?
Who's white?
Yeah, like what's the cutoff for white? 80%. Is Nick Fuentes white?
No.
You don't. You don't.
You are genetically, like, I'm not even like trying to prove nothing here, but you are genetically white if you are 100% Anglo, like French, German.
What about Spanish, Portuguese,
You
Serbian,
know, I don't see that.
Russian?
I don't see that as white. Now,
How's it not
why?
white? It's European.
I
How's
don't
that
know.
not white?
I don't know. Yes, it's European, but Anglo. Like, if you're not,
Anglo is one type of white, right? So are Celts
yeah,
white? Irish are Irish white? They're not Anglo.
they're not they're not as white. They're white, but they're not
How
as white.
how are they not as white? Well, if you're just using the definition of Anglo,
Because they're more animalistic. I don't know how to explain it,
so
but no,
so
yes, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not trying to argue, but like that, in my opinion, to go back to what you're saying is you are white if you are Anglo, that surrounding area. If you
yeah,
are
well,
that, you are white.
Ireland is right next to England,
Yes,
right?
I know. I'm Irish. I'm white, but I'm saying like,
Okay, so you just said they're Anglo, but look,
okay,
you can
well,
find.
Anglo Celtic.
Oh, so now it's Celtic included. I mean, how is a Serbian not white? They're obviously white. They're European descent. I mean, you could find a German, you could find a British person, for example, who's a brunette but has brown eyes. You can find plenty of British people like that. You can find plenty of Scots and Irish like that. You can find Germans like that. I've met Germans that have olive skin, brown eyes, and brown hair.
Yes, it's not about the skin tone, whatever. It's the genetic makeup. It's
It's
about the
not about the
genetic makeup.
skin tone. So you can have a dark skinned German and he's white, but a blonde hair and blue eyed Spanish person's not? How does that work?
Correct. Correct.
So you're just making up a definition.
It's the genetic. No, it's the genetic makeup. Like, I think Spanish people are like, I don't know,
So
man.
Joseph Goebbels, who looks like a fucking Balkan Serb, is white, but a blonde haired, blue eyed Portuguese person is not white. I mean, you need to fix your definition here. And so white is just Anglo. That's a very American type of definition. It's just arbitrary. You're just setting the bar there, right? So white is kind of useless then as a definition.
Well, I don't agree with people saying, "Oh, if you're English and you have a baby with an Italian, like you should do that." You know, I don't agree with that.
What if someone's half like what if someone's a quarter English, a quarter Italian, a quarter Russian? What, not white?
You're a mutt. I don't know. You would be classified white, but it's just,
A mutt of white people? Like
I don't
what's the
know.
huge difference?
It just doesn't go together. I don't know. It just doesn't go
You're a
together.
mutt. You're Anglo and Irish, so you are also mixed ethnicities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the point in saying white is just Anglo?
What I'm
You're not
saying is that
you're not white.
if you're going to try to procreate with someone, at least try with someone your own, you know?
Yeah, well, your own is European. It's white. It doesn't have to be English or Irish or German. It could be Russian. Why not?
Well, the Russians were mixed with a lot of like Mongols and stuff. That's
It's
why they
so
look
it's so
genetically
minuscule.
different, like recessed jaw and, you know, narrow.
This is like some Nordicist Madison Grant bullshit. Go to Russia, go look at those people. I mean, they could pass for Scandinavian, right? And they
Yes,
have mixtures from
mm,
Vikings.
mm, they have softer features in Russia. They
You're
have softer features. cultures.
You're talking about someone from the Caucasus, like a Chechen. Well, that's not a Slav. Okay, that's a different group. You look at a Russian Slav, and they look. You can find some of them that look like Scandinavian. They
Yeah,
have a high percentage.
keyword, some of them.
Well,
But
but even
there is a very good difference if you found someone from Scandinavian countries and then someone from Russia. You can like the general like a mixture of a face, right? Whatever that's called.
no,
If
you
you had those two
can't.
together,
You could find a
you
Norwegian
can
with
most
brown
definitely
eyes.
tell the difference between a
Can't.
Scandinavian and a Russian.
Not
And if you
always.
can't,
No.
you're retarded.
No, you can see. I've seen Norwegians that have brown hair and brown eyes. You'd never be able to guess they're
Yes, but we're
Norwegian.
talking about the
Right.
majority.
Doesn't matter,
The
but
majority of
that person,
Scandinavians,
yeah, they just have blonde hair and blue eyes. But you can find Russians. About 50% of them have blonde hair and blue eyes, and they have a Caucasoid phenotype. You cannot tell.
yeah, they can have blonde hair, blue eyes,
I
but
mean,
they do not look
you don't look Nordic.
Scandinavian
You don't look
with the
Scandinavian.
bone. Okay, with the bone structure, they they just don't.
The bone structure. So you're telling me you've got some perfect mapped out bone structure for Russians versus Scandinavians, and you could
Dude,
pinpoint them every
Russians
single
have
time.
but so you think that race is just skin deep then?
No, I think they're Caucasian Europeans, just like Scandinavians are. They come from the same mixtures of the ancient Europeans, just different distributions. So, like Finnish people, yeah, you can see there's a little bit of mixture with Finnish people. They got some Mongol mixed in there too. So, are Finnish people not white? Like, I've been to Finland, and you can tell, like, they got some high cheekbones going on. So, they have a mixture of some Asian there. They're
Yeah.
Scandinavian. Finnish people are white. Like, I think you're riffing off of some Nazi stuff. I mean, this is some kind of outdated Nordic
I'm
shit.
not a Nazi, and you have labeled me that incorrectly or try to predetermine that multiple times.
Yeah, because you're
People can
trying to
have
push
this
this.
ideology. People can have a somewhat racial based ideology without being a Nazi. You do understand that, right? You've
Yeah,
been in the
but
game for a while. I hope
you're a
you'd understand that.
Nordicist. Even if you're not a Nazi, you're a Nordicist, which is pretty
Okay,
much
and
the
guess
same
what?
thing.
You can be a Spainacist, whatever, right? You can believe in your own shit. I believe in my own shit. You can believe in your
Well,
own
I
shit.
don't.
There's
I believe
no problem.
All Europeans are European. So it doesn't matter if you're Russian, if you're British, if you're Irish, or if you're a mix of
Well,
all of them. Who cares?
that's where our opinion differs. I think that I'm a I'm an Anglo-cis, whatever. You can be whatever you are. That's what I believe in. I don't think of anything bad. It's nothing Nazi. It's completely separate. That's just what I believe in.
Yeah,
I think for
that's stupid.
healthy lifestyle, healthy keeping the tradition going, that's that.
But you're not fully Anglo, so why would you be an
I
Anglocist?
I don't I don't have to
Yeah, you
be
do.
fully Anglo. I
Yeah, you do.
am more than half Anglo.
So if you're not fully
But
Anglo, you cannot be an Anglocist because an Anglocist is 100% Anglo, right?
okay. But it doesn't
So
matter. It's
you're just
still
wasting your time. What's the point of that? You're just dividing white people based off of very arbitrary small differences. Like, oh,
fair point. But that is what I believe in
but why? I mean, why would you believe in that?
because I believe it's for the best.
Why is it for the best to divide whites? Do you want to divide whites based off of national identity or ethnicity? Why is that good? I mean,
I think because they all have their own, just like an art easel, right? We all look all colors look beautiful when they're separated, but when you mix them together, it's you know, and you can get even to the nitty gritty with whites if you like.
you're talking
That's
about different races, but we're talking about Europeans, so we're not talking about blacks
yes, I
or
know, and so
other races.
I'm not talking about different races here. I'm talking about different Europeans. They all have their own unique culture. and they all should embrace that.
Yeah, but in America,
That's
the
all I'm
whites,
saying.
the Italian Americans are fully assimilated into America. They are American as anyone else. So
I'm not talking about America. I'm saying
why not?
Italians have their.
You're
I'm okay.
talking about
You're jumping from.
white
You're jumping.
Americans. But wait, why wouldn't
I
you
understand you're just trying to do
support?
your job and you're trying to pick a fight for entertainment. Listen, I think we
No,
both
it's not picking a fight.
ideally, I think we both ideally are. We can agree on majority of things, okay? Now, if worst comes to worst, Italians and English people from England, if they breed, that's whatever, right? But I'm saying I would try England on England, or Italian with Italian. Keep that beautiful like European diversity. That's what I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah,
Now,
I mean that's a cultural
whatever.
thing,
I'm not
though.
100% listen, I'm not 100% Anglo. I'm a mutt. I'm French, English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish. I'm a mutt, okay? I know, but
So
I'm
then,
just
what the
saying
fuck's the point of being an Anglo-cist if you're a mutt yourself? You're mixed of different white
I'm not an
people.
Anglo. I'm a
You just
Spainicist.
said
I'm a
that.
Welshist. I'm a
But that's
everybody.
dude, that's a cultural thing. Like, yeah, we can preserve the different cultures. It doesn't mean like we should.
What
You know, an
you cannot
Italian
preserve
shouldn't.
a culture if people are mixing and mingling. That's just how it goes. You
No,
can't do that.
you can if they're white and they can't tell the difference between the fucking people. So if it's like a bunch of Austrians who live in South Tyrol and speak Italian, and they're right on the border with Italy, and they mix with Italians and they adopt Italian culture. Sure they can become Italians, right? Right? They are. I mean, they view themselves as Italians. If they're white European origin,
Brother,
so what?
brother.
But you understand that all Europeans have pretty much the same origin, right?
Yes, but then later they have their own. I understand that.
So
Yeah.
like the distribution is like it comes from the Yamnaya people, the hunter gatherers, Eastern hunter gatherers. So there's like three main groups that form the European peoples, but every European group has some of each of those, just different distributions. So maybe Northwestern Europeans have more of the Yamnaya group ancestry than the Eastern hunter gatherer. Southern Europeans have more of the Eastern hunter gatherer, but they all share the same ancestors, like going back thousands of years. So that's why it's pointless to do this Nordicist, Anglo-cist. It's like, okay, that's a culture, but like a Russian and an Anglo are not that different. Okay.
Well, then, since you know more than me, let me ask you this. So then, what would the consequence of going back to that N word that you used, I guess, that if an English person, okay, a very pale, blue eyed, blonde haired woman, and a very tan, dark haired, dark eyed man from Italy, if they mingled, yeah, what what would the consequence be?
Not
It
much.
would,
Not much. I mean, you could do the reverse thing and say a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Spaniard mixed with a brown-haired, brown-eyed British person. Oh, is that bad?
or that way too.
Yeah,
Correct.
but you're trying to make it about phenotype. But if you do that, you're going to have to exclude all the Anglos that have a darker phenotype. You're going to have to exclude all the
No,
Germans
no,
and
I'm not.
Scandinavians.
Well,
Yeah,
you might
you
have
have
got me
to.
wrong.
You have to because
I might have made that phenotype,
you
but
just
I'm
said
saying
that.
my dad is brown hair, brown eyes, whatever, and he's French.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. I'm
So this comes back
I
to
didn't mean to
phenotype,
make that
though.
presumption. I didn't mean to make that presumption, but it was like a general presumption. But okay, so if it's mixed, it's like
So if it's not phenotype, what
then
is it?
then what would the my question to you is, and I'm genuinely looking for an answer here. What just like when a white person and a black person has a baby and sometimes statistics say and sometimes videos say and when men come out say I could never really identify with either, right? how does that differ with an Italian and like a Nordic
Well, it depends.
mixed
It
baby?
depends where they're born, right? So, or it depends what identity I want to pick up. So, I was born in Canada. Neither of my parents were. My dad's from Spain. My mom's from Czech Republic. They're Europeans, but they moved to Canada when they were kids. They speak English as a first language, basically. I grew up in the Anglo culture. I identified as a Canadian, but I have Spanish ancestry, so I got in touch with that and moved to Spain. So it depends what you want to identify as, right? You could be half Italian and half British, and maybe you identify more as Italian because your family's stronger identity on that side, and you can move back to Italy and be Italian. It's like, yeah, everybody emphasizes one part of their identity more than another one, right?
For sure.
But
And I think a lot of
but
people emphasize the more darker part.
but in America, it's so mixed up. I mean, nobody's really fully pure anymore, pure
Mm-mm.
ethnicity.
I don't think that's really a thing unless you go to Europe. Then that's like a thing.
Yeah, but in Europe, you got Switzerland. It's a mixture of Italians, of German speakers, of French speakers. So it's just a mixture of French, Italian, and German all mixed together into Switzerland, right? And they actually have three languages in Switzerland. Like they don't have like Swiss. I don't know if Swiss is an actual language, but yeah, like that's why I call myself Pan-European. I'm not Anglo-Nordicist. I'm not even a Spanicist or whatever. It's like I respect these cultures individually, but you know we can work together. We can live together in Europe. I mean, there's British people in Spain. I'm not gonna say the British in Spain need to leave and they're trash and they're not Spanish, man. Well, if they learn Spanish and speak Spanish, fine. I don't care. As long as they're European, why is it a problem? Yeah, I agree. Not like millions. I don't think we should invite millions of other Europeans, but hundreds of thousands is fine. It's not going to shake up the demographics or cultural makeup of the country. So I don't know where you're getting this from. This is a very American thing, right? Just like Anglo-Saxon obsession. I mean, you guys actually think Spanish people are Mexican? I mean, this is how dumb a lot of Americans are, is they actually don't even know what fucking Spain is.
I know what Spain is, but I'm not saying they're like fucking Mexicans.
A lot of Americans can't fucking understand the difference between Spain and any Spanish speaking country in Latin America. They think it's all the same. No, you can see it's not the same. Mexicans are like Aztecs, like they're obviously native Indians that mix with some Spanish. So yeah, they're not European. I mean, some of them are. I mean, you could find a Mexican that is like 90% European, right? Like Canelo Alvarez, that boxer, he's got red hair. He's like a pure white guy. So Mexican is not even a race; it's a nationality. You could be white, you could be Aztec. Like those countries are so mixed up racially, like Brazil and all these countries. Like you can find a white Brazilian, you can find a black Brazilian, you can find a mixed race Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
So Latino Hispanic is not a race; it's a language. It's just you speak Spanish, right? You look at Cuba. Cuba, Fidel Castro is white, right? Former communist dictator of Cuba. His ancestors are from Spain. Now you can find a black Cuban who's 100% African, right? It's not a racial thing. They both speak Spanish, so they're both Hispanic because they speak Spanish, but that's it. So you Americans need to learn your shit, man.
Okay. So I'm gonna move to England and then start dissing America or Canada or wherever I was originally born, because that automatically makes me better.
Straight up, straight up. Just stay away from all these LARPers, yeah? GDL and all this bullshit.
I don't know what any of that means.
Goyim Defense League, you watch that shit?
I don't know what that is. I've heard of it.
Come on, you're donating to Handsome Truth? Is that what you're doing?
I just found out about him like I saw his videos and shit, but I just like found out who the fuck that was like last month.
Yeah, you Confederate as well? You're into the Confederate shit?
All right. Now you calm down because I think like all of my great grandpas were like Confederate because I am from that region.
Right. That's why you're into that
So
Anglo shit, huh?
no. I actually do know my shit about the Civil War. It was not all about slavery and all that. So you calm down.
No, I'm just asking. You're into that Confederate stuff. A lot of
I'm
these
not.
white nationalists are.
I'm into it by blood, legit, like legit.
I'm telling you, this Anglo shit's not going to work. Pan-Europa. That's the real stuff. Pan-Europa.
Brother, I don't know. I don't know. I listen. You have some pretty good points, but I also think I have some good points. Like I just don't. I don't know, cause it's like at the point. Okay, Pan Europa. Okay, then me, right? Cause it's like I'm Celtic, French, and whatever. Like I don't identify with anything. I could
Yeah, but
move to
you were just
England,
saying that only Anglos are white, so that's not
but no,
Pan-Europa.
okay, but I'm saying from your point of view, it's like if or mine mixed together, Pan European. Yeah, I'm Pan European, but still, it's like I don't identify with anything. I but since I'm primarily English, I identify with Anglo. It's like
Right, but it's one thing to identify with Anglo. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying you're not only identifying as Anglo, but you're trying to claim that all other whites are not white, which is ridiculous and stupid.
it's
So
just what I
white,
know. I'm not
no,
trying to fight. It's just what I know. It's what I think. I don't know. I You could
it's
be right.
it's what
Maybe
you
listen.
think.
Maybe I need
What's
to do more
white?
research, but still, it's like
So you think someone who's 80% Anglo and 20% black is Anglo? Is more white than a full Spaniard, full Italian? Gets kind of
no.
messy there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just say European. I don't care if you're fucking Anglo or Russian or. Because, like I said, the phenotype thing, blonde hair, blue eyes. First of all, a lot of these blondies, they're dyeing their fucking hair, right? I've been to Scandinavia, dude. They're all dyeing their hair. When you grow older, your hair gets darker, right?
Yes, I know.
So, you know, that platinum look is fake, right?
Oh, I know. Any platinum look is it's very very rare or it's fake. But
Right.
majority of kids are born with blonde hair, and then as they get older, it gets dirtier, and then it gets brown, and then eventually like fuck this, I'm gonna dye my hair fucking blonde. But
Right. So
I don't know.
that ideal is impossible. Nobody has that kind of look.
Yeah, I know, and it's the same
And
people who are rooting for the neo-Nazi movements and shit, specifically women, and they dye their hair fucking platinum blonde, and it's like I'm Aryan, whatever. Okay, okay.
it's like you go look at that actor Mr. Bean, you know, from England, Mr. Bean,
Mhm.
Rowan Atkinson. Like he's
Yeah.
100% English. He passed for a Sicilian, like Italian. He's olive skin, dark hair, and he's 100% English. You know, Emma Watson, right? Emma Watson. She's a brunette with brown eyes.
That's crazy, yo. Ain't no way Mr. Bean is all.
Yes,
I
he's
mean,
100% English and he's Anglican background Christian. He's 100% English.
that's crazy. I've
But this is what I
never.
noticed that these people who are into this shit, they don't even realize that there's plenty of Anglos that look like that or have at least are brunettes, right? Look at
Yeah. No, I mean,
Colin Farrell.
listen.
So,
You have informed me. I am aware. I know that there are brown haired whatever. I'm the only blonde haired person in my family, and I get the blonde hair from my French side, which when you think of French, you don't really think of blonde hair. I understand how all that works,
Yeah.
but
French is a mix of Celtic, Germanic, Mediterranean, all of that mixed together, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
I
that's what I'm
understand.
saying. That every European, like even Spain, used to have a Germanic element called the Visigoths, used to have a Celtic element called the Celtiberians, and they had a Roman element as well. So the Iberian Peninsula is a mixture of all of them as well as the Northern
Yeah,
European countries. So there's no point playing this game. You know, this like I like this. I mean, you could want to preserve Swedish culture, fine. I'm not saying we should invite millions of Italians into Sweden or the
yeah,
reverse, but
yeah.
it's not a huge deal
Well,
if like
I don't mean to cut you off, but I